It is 12 minutes after 8 o'clock, and it is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. I am looking, even at this moment, at pictures of the flooded fields yesterday at Yarnick's farm, and people enduring flooding all over Indiana County yesterday. Lynette Yarnick is on the telephone with us this morning. Lynette, good morning. It's good to be able to talk to you and make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, good morning, Todd. And on that note, we hope everybody in Indiana County is safe and recovering from the floods, and everybody is safe and on high ground there.
Yeah. So yesterday when the storms came, the rains came down and the floods came up, as the old Sunday school song says, and unfortunately for you, it is going to be ending up to be a very costly rainstorm, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the third flood in a couple months here, third flood this year, the third time that particular field has been flooded. We replanted after the first two floods the last week of June, and we thought it was going to make it. Remember, I kept saying I was close. But it is underwater, and as you saw the pictures, Todd, the tassel was sticking out. And if y'all watched KDK last night on Channel 19, they showed the picture of the farm. A friend of ours had sent it to Susan Copen, and they showed it on KDK and talked about the farm.
That water, of course, comes up so quickly. And I know that you get concerned about it the moment the rains start, and when they persist as they do, then you know that you've got problems coming. There's not anything that you can do to knowing that the floodwaters are coming. There's not anything you can do, is there?
No, and this was a flood. This was a flood from the creeks. It wasn't coming down the road. It wasn't from the downpour. It was from all the rain. And the creek actually last night was still coming up. The water had not gone down. That's the downfall of having the beautiful farm in the valley with the beautiful fields along the creek. Is the creek is a living, viable thing, and when it does rain and gets angry, it takes whatever it wants to from everybody, not only from farmers, but from a lot of businesses that depend on the weather and everything. To us, it's our living 100%. So it is crucial. It is critical. On that note, we're glad that we have some farms with hills on them because they don't get flooded. So we still have, some sweet corn and some crops to pick, but the low-lying fields are all pretty much underwater there. So we figured we had about 8 to 10 inches, and we lost probably right around 15 plus a few, more acres of corn and a few things. A lot of the crops, even though didn't get flooded, covered with water, they're the roots are so wet and the fields are so saturated. And we had our friend Dave Jewett come over with his excavator in the middle of all that. God bless Dave. He came over and he dug a ditch to drain, some of our fields to try to help us save what we could. And so a special thanks to him. And thanks to all our friends for their thoughts and their prayers and their comments. Thank you, Paula Good, for the bottle of wine. We're going to have that later. We definitely need it. But just thanks to everybody, and thank you, Todd. There is no easy answer. It is obviously a lot of money. It's part of our income, but then again, it is Mother Nature, and it is farming. Farming is a very difficult thing, not just for us, and some people don't realize the hard work and all the money that you put into it and wait, and then you try to do a good job. You put your heart and soul into it, and at the end, it's all controlled by Mother Nature. What you get back, it's a big gamble. You put all your money and everything into the fields, and you just wait to see what you're going to get back. And I don't know. Sometimes that's hard way to make a living for everybody. But so We'll see at the end of the day what happens here, and we're still open. We're here every day, so come on out and get the corn off the hill. It's absolutely fabulous. Lots of good stuff, and we're here, and that's what it is.
Lynette, I know that it's difficult to say right now because you've got the expense that you put into farming it and keeping it, and planting it, cultivating the fields, all of the money that goes into it, and the anticipated harvest. Is there any way to put a dollar figure on what the flooding yesterday did to Yarnick's farm?
Well, we, with our heart and soul and our seed and everything, we're out right about $60,000 right now. And that's not, counting, what you could have got and everything. But
and the amount of sweat that you put into that. I know Dan works so hard to make sure that the market is staffed and that you've got all the produce in the market that you can. And I think a lot of people need to realize as well that you supply so many of the grocery stores and markets, not only here but all around Western Pennsylvania, that you're missing out on an opportunity to provide them with goods as well. So
we do. We supply Super Values Warehouse. We supply Giant Eagle's Warehouse. We supply Paragon's Warehouse, Monteverde's Warehouse, McEnany Brothers Warehouse, about 20 grocery stores that we do personally and everything. So it's a lot. And yes, Danny does put his heart and soul into everything. He takes great pride in growing the very best vegetables that he can, and we're all just so proud of him. He does a great job, and yes, it's very disheartening to see a beautiful crop that you raise, and especially one that you planted the second time, to come back that you think is going to make it, just to be like washed away in an instant. So,
well, our best thoughts and prayers go to you and your family, and to Dan. I know it's going to be a while before you even think about getting back into those fields as soggy as they are, but we're glad that you're still here and that everybody is safe, and we wish you all the best, and we'll talk to you again later this week.
Thank you so much, Todd, and again, thank you, everybody, for your thoughts and prayers and kind words. We love you all.
There you go. Lynette Yarnick calling this morning from Yarnick's Farm Market. I asked Lynette if she would come on specially for us this morning so we could get sort of an idea of the devastation and what it costs in terms of money